What's good, YouTube? Certainly not this, and welcome to the house. I've tried to record this several times calmly, and I've learned that I very much can't, so I'm going to be speaking from the heart. Konami's back at it again with the short prints in sets that previously did not have them. Now, Droll and Lockbird's pull ratio, both in the EU and the US, is about half of the other rares. Konami patting itself on the shoulder. Yeah, we gave it to everybody rare. Aren't you happy? And initial reactions in my Discord to its price were people going, oh, it's like Sutff Gear Gamma from Toon Chaos, where people are on it way earlier this time, so the price is up, and people were just smarter. Actually, it's just that there's less of them. Again, somebody tapped me on the shoulder today and was like, I think Droll is short print. I was like, nah, it can't be. But then I poked the big boy vendors, and they said, yep, we pulled a lot less of it than the other cards, about a 50% pull rate out of our mass case ratios. And I also like being lazy, not having to spreadsheet things out, not having to ask if they're short print in certain sets, yet Konami's doing it time and time again here lately with sets that they previously were not. The $15 MSRP replacement for special edition sets like Dragons of Legend, the complete series, were not short printing anything. Now, Legendary Duel Season 3 short printed the Magician's Soul, so Konami can cash in on that again at some point. And also Bane and Gold, which they already short printed over in Battles of Legend 2. Like, why are they doing these triple down short prints, acting like they're doing great for the community? And then, because the pull rates are so bad, that's why the product isn't selling. Konami's sitting there like, why aren't people buying this? The cards are really great, when they're so throttled on the pull rates that that is exactly why it isn't selling. So let's actually go and deep dive a little bit on these side collector rare sets that replaced all foil booster deck building sets, and talk about why they are all failing for the deck building sets. Now, the world premiere sets like Toon Chaos and King's Copium, they've done okay for themselves because the TCG office had more direct pull on what ended up being collector rare in those. But Tactical Masters is already way under that $60 a box where stores like to sell, meaning this product sits there on shelves, dries up because it's not worth it for you, the consumer, to end up opening because the pull rates are so bad. So let's actually break down some of those pull rates, right, real quick. When it comes to collector rares in these sets, you have 15 different collector rares on average. So, in order to see a singular collector rare of each card, you have to open about 4 cases, because you pull on average 4 collector rares per 1 case. That's 12 boxes. So 48 boxes in total to mathematically see 15 different collector rares plus 1 bonus one out of those cases, because you would still have to crack that case open and start going through those boxes, and that's assuming no multiples or missing others, clumping, that sort of thing with collector rares. So you then have to open a total of 12 cases to see cards you would want a playset of on average in collector rares. So a lot of people are just buying the collector rares they want from singles on the market when people do the estimated value pull, chop up, do pre-sales, and then they don't bother with the set unless there's a deck inside they want. You wanted to play a kind of deck out of here, did you? Well, when it comes down to that, the ultra rares are about 3 per box, meaning 36 total per case, and there are 10 different ultra rares, meaning an average of barely above a playset per ultra rare should your pull rates go right within a case. And in some cases you'll only see 2 of some ultras and 4 of another. So buying a case is so throttled that it's just not worth going, and even if there's top decks within there. Like, let's look at the only successful set, Grand Creators, which Sealed is actually coming down due to banless fears and its engine not getting played enough for the Punk. So the Adventure Token engine did amazing, and you saw huge inflation on those cards, like actual spikes and crazy things on stuff like Water Enchantress and Rite of Armistier, which are coming down because played less, and also banless fears. And when we look through everything in this set, like, it's kind of crazy to look at the history where the spikes came up and then down, and it is less ridiculous for the players to afford than, say, the past sets, because short prints were really terrible on the top end sets for the all foil sets, to where it was about the same as these. So if we saw a truly tier 0 meta deck come out of these, it would be pretty much as bad as something like, you know, the Secret Forces or something from way back then. But let's actually look through, you know, the collector rare sets. This is the only successful one that has gone above $60, and that's barely. Then you have Ancient Guardians, one of the greatest modern flops that had the Ogdoadic, you had the Pendulums that had some future potential, the Sutff Accords, and then you had Usartic, which I told you guys was too fair of a modern deck, and I got backlash for that. Crazy, right? Player brain. But when it comes down to it, I was completely right there, and this just bottomed out so hard. It needed something like Ash Blossom to even potentially save it. Genesis Impact had a rogue fan favorite in Live Twins. It had a meta deck in Drytron, and it can't even crack towards $60 because it's not worth opening, meaning the sealed sits there, meaning it's not worth it again for the consumer, thus also not for the shops. Players finally speaking with their wallets are impacting these sets, and Konami needs to take notes. They need to write it down that, wow, these just aren't selling. They are still sitting there, where we had a previously very successful model on rogue decks. Look at this. Earth Machine, rogue at best with the Infinitrack stuff. Witchcrafters may be popularized by Duel Links, and Evil Eyes, which almost topped some regionals. I forget if it actually ended up getting a top, but this is at 90 some odd a box just for nostalgia and people enjoying it and all the hollows inside. And then you have Mystic Fighters, which also has Mathmex now finally taking over, but they've already cashed in on those reprints, right? Dragon Maid, which had its, you know, eternal rival on Market Watch status, and then Generator, a fun rogue deck. And look at this, they are $300+ a box. And do they deserve to be there? Probably not, but the demand and people loving these decks and people going after the stuff inside and not wanting to be stuck with gold rares ends up with some interesting single prices in history for the set to where it ended up here. The all-foil side sets were largely successful, and here's kind of the formula. You had 20 different secret rares instead of 10 ultra rares atop the set. And these 20 secret rares, well, guess what? There's 24 secrets in a box, meaning you would see all of them in every box if there wasn't shorting. Short printing originally was like, let's talk Invoked Macabre, around 5 per case, and they slowly choked it out to be around 3 per case, which is the magic number that every ultra rare is at now. So if you want to play rogue, well, you're not going to see a lot of them opening a box if you just wanted them in a bonus chance at something else. You're going to have to open a ton of boxes. So they've tried to create this model that ended up making everybody work harder to get the cards, yet it actually backfired to where their product consistently is not selling very well at all. And even with top meta performances out of multiple things and engines within this is sitting like this. Now, if you're a player, that may seem great for you for the singles overall compared to the history of this, because the demand leaves the product there, leaves it able to be this, and drags those prices back down. But for stores, it's terrible. For anyone opening product and wanting it, it's terrible. For anyone winning prizing, it's terrible. But the secondary market actually has reacted in such a way, because it is so horrendous, that the singles benefit a little from it on your end, which also, for Konami, hurts reprinting these things in the future. So there is one silver lining to all of that, which is actually, oddly, despite the low ratios, the singles have been affected positively from it, but this entire model needs to be scrapped, and they really need to rethink it. Like, do an all-foil side set with collector rares. Everybody freaking wins. So yeah, that's my rant coming out of short prints being back. And I also get that ratios coming from sources such as YouTuber, by the way. I used to get really mad when people wouldn't take me seriously, but it got worse than that. Like, on Reddit threads, people would call me a liar, wanting to pump up card prices, even though I stopped vending a long time ago. I like to put the information out there, and I started spreadsheeting. This is the only one that I know of out of Tactical Masters. Then you have the legendary Duel Season 3 ones. So the fact that they're starting to toy and play with things they previously hadn't shorted in, what's next? Is it core sets? Is it something else? And ratio rumors can also spread like wildfire. Like, I told you guys to hold off when people were starting to quote 1 per 6 cases on this Dark Magician. It's going to be the next great collectible. I was like, I'm hearing different early, but I can't even confirm this early. Yo, I would hold off, and it turned it out to be around 1.5 cases, and it could be even greater than that because it's anywhere in the pack, so people could actually miss it as they did the mass case openings, that they pulled one and go back later and then oh I found another one. It could even be like 1 per case, but so far as far as I've heard, it's 1 per 1.5 cases. So like if you bought 3, you'll see an average of 2. But yeah, it's how people are reacting to ratio news. Misinformation spreads a lot in the community, and that's why I end up doing the segments. A lot of you guys appreciate the information, and you end up, using it and benefiting from it. But when it comes down to it, I feel like it's really hard until people see, they keep opening boxes, see it open at locals. Oh yeah, he was right. He's not just trying to pump the card. So here we are in a position really weird with these side sets. And if you're investing, quote unquote, in these, I'm not a financial advisor channel. I don't know the future of cards. Look at something with a fan favorite archetype and just no really great collector rares overall. And the ones that are imported are one-ofs, like, Unicorn. They totally missed doing Cyber Emergency in here. Look at this. A meta deck and a fan favorite deck, and it's at $52 a box. And then you go, oh, well, at least it's cheaper. Opening it's not worth it just because it's cheaper, right? Now, let's actually talk Tactical Masters and some price changes. It's been a while since the OCG market has actually influenced the TCG market, and I warned you Trap Mommy might end up that way. She certainly is bumping up, but so is Ariana's collector rares and some other, despite still having pretty good quantities. The ultra rare for Ariana is creeping up as well. So again, I told you that I feel like the Trap archetype has future potential. It does seem to be rising. Also, Runic Fountain coming up to match, well, not match, but come up towards the price of just the Runic tip. It is also slowly increasing its price. We saw sales around 15, 16, heck, even today, there's a couple that popped up, but they are mostly $20+ right now on the market for the Ultra. So again, these rogue decks early, there's not a lot of people willing to open this up. They're rather taking a loss, selling it sealed versus shipping and platform fees, just trying to get rid of it. And it's kind of funny, but like not in a great way. It's just funny how that works out. Again, I told you guys I'm approaching this not with the clearest of mind, but it's just crazy. Drone Lockbird heading up towards triple digits, 9669. I see you guys. Nice. Anti-Spell actually bumping back up as well. Like I said, people are going to be targeting the collector rares in these sets early as they make their calls. Some of those will come back down, and I wanted to talk about other OCG buyouts, but first, I did notice that the Labyrinth Mommy is also going up on the EU market, which is why it tells me it's not just a TCG thing. Like, there is international interest from the OCG market into this card, which always weirds me out because, like, I was there when they stopped actually allowing OCG players to play with TCG cards. They could play with TCG cards while we couldn't play with theirs for the longest, and then they split the ban list, and then they went, oh yeah, you OCG players can't use TCG cards anymore, by the way. And that actually closed a huge market to practice. But like this spiked up really heavily due to some OCG interest, and now it's coming back down. Remember the lowest listings being like 150, 160, now 85, 86. So sometimes when the OCG market hits, it hits all at once. It's a huge order from over there. It ships over from a couple of vendors, and the interest ends and prices come back down. Other times it's multiple orders at the beginning. This spiked it for the longest. It eventually came back down towards 1200 where it had started at, and then creep back up over time due to deep interested pockets / people just finally saying, okay, it's back down to here, I'll get one. And it's kind of settled at 1500, which is up from its initial start. But again, there are multiple different ways things can go versus that initial buyout where people just do one huge take of it and it comes back down, or where it permanently does spike it versus where it was at or does so for a very long time. So people coming after this, super low quantities, we'll keep watching and see how it goes. Black Rose Dragon, first edition out of Crossroads of Chaos when we're talking past formats. It's kind of the mid rarity, right? I even kind of like the 10 secret more than it, but the first edition has been fully bought out, and I didn't know it was commanding a market price at like $70, but yeah, huge sales on it all the way up to 86, 87. So if you have a first ed OG Ultra, you might have a lot more money than you knew you had. Thanks for bringing this up in the Discord. Extra Hero Infernal Devicer, only printed in Dual Overload, is way up in price, up towards $5-ish. There are some listings around that $450 before it's $5, and people, jumping on this going up in price, but to be aware that this card is also up there with its only one printing. And then Hyper Galaxy collector rares. Well, the super is worth almost nothing. People bought out the collector rare. I said people might do that, but then nobody did initially when the Photon stuff got revealed, and people seemed underwhelmed with the Photon stuff, where I read it and I'm like, I think this is pretty cool and neat. So I felt kind of like I missed the mark, but people late to the party have bought this out, maybe with expectations that extra hype will come to this later and that they can sell it later, or they're just truly interested in it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below about that one. But that's going to end today's Market Watch. Sorry that a lot of it might have seemed ranty, but I truly do want to put it in front of you how those collector rare sets have been doing, because they do attract a decent amount of attention when it comes to the deck building sets, and I know Konami employees do watch my stuff, so I'm hoping that this reaches them, that your answer of draining the product of pulls is not the freaking answer when it comes to these sets. It's making the problem worse, and you need to fix what is inherently wrong with the sets. And also, if you're, buying the singles or buying the sealed, you need to understand what is happening and why those prices are settling that way. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the conversation, and I'll try to do a more regular one next time.